CoLiving and co-working space owner, operator, Alt Chiang Mai.
So I just blindly send you over.
I think it got disrupted because of COVID.
That Nomads summit is coming back to Chiang Mai.
I don't know which one is harder.
Japan has a potential to become one of the most popular destinations for digital nomads.
There's a whole new movement within the digital nomad scene.
We are here in a very beautiful place called Fukuoka in Fukuoka City in Japan. And I'm here with John. John is from Chiang Mai. And actually I know about John, and somehow John knows about me even before we met. And hello, nice to see you in Fukuoka.
Yeah, of all the places. But I think the first impression was the magazine that you actually gave us as a gift. I think it was more like a year ago.
It was in April.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit what you do and what company you represent?
I am a co-living and co-working space owner, operator. It's called Alt Chiang Mai. That's the first one we have. And then the second one is called Alt Ping River. So we have two locations right now. Both of them are in Chiang Mai, Thailand.
And how long ago did you open this?
We opened the first location right towards the end of COVID. So it's been about 4 years now for the first location. We have 27 bedrooms and a 40 desk kind of capacity. The second location is almost the same size, slightly bigger. It's 10 minutes away from the first one, but it was just opened 4 months ago.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
When I was collecting where I should send my magazines, Alt CoWorking was one of the first that I had recommendation about, that my magazine had to be there. So I just blindly sent you over.
I was actually surprised because we received the magazine and we're like, wait, who is this from? And I think we just decided that, okay, we should just put it everywhere, right? So then, every time I see the magazine, I'm curious, like, okay, so who's actually printing something physical these days? But, it's actually meaningful because we don't have anything relevant to the community that people can read about digital nomadism. So that was actually a nice gesture.
Thank you. Who is that crazy person? That's me. But last time I've been in Chiang Mai, honestly, that was 9 years ago, a really long time ago. And when I was starting my journey 10 years ago, Chiang Mai was top number one, where everyone would go who is curious, who wanted to meet digital nomads, and it was like a hub for digital nomads. And that was really true when I was there. Amazing place. How Chiang Mai look these days and digital community look these days?
I jumped into the Chiang Mai about 7 years ago. This is when me and my wife decided to move to Chiang Mai. I'm originally from Hong Kong. She's from Chiang Mai. Now, this is pre-COVID, and there was a very vibrant community working in co-working spaces, doing a lot of meetups. And so I think when you were there 9 years ago, and when I was there 7 years ago, the vibe would be very similar. But I think it got disrupted because of COVID. So then post-COVID, a lot of digital nomad friends told me that once they were there, they don't go back anymore for whatever reason. But what's happening now is also interesting because there's a whole new movement within the digital nomad scene. There's the remote workers that they don't necessarily identify themselves as like digital nomads, but they also are coming to Chiang Mai for similar reasons, right? Cost of living, the friendliness, just a slower pace of life and all that. And then there's like right now the Web3 movement, and then there's these pop-up villages and pop-up cities that's also choosing Chiang Mai as a destination for them to kind of move around. So I want to say there's more or a different type of nomads that's still in Chiang Mai or that's coming into Chiang Mai. And then I'm seeing a resurgence of the OGs, we call them, right? Coming back because, there's going to be more events and it's a place that they miss. So, I mean, all in all, I think it's still a very vibrant community, but it could be slightly different from the first impressions that people came, pre-COVID times. Yeah.
And I heard that Nomads Summit is coming back to Chiang Mai after some break.
Yes, January.
January.
Yes.
I know for sure that I've heard so many feedback that actually running co-working sounds very fancy, and it is amazing business to have because you have so many people every day from all over the world, but it is very difficult business to manage. So applauses to you for managing a co-working that hosting digital nomads, because of you, we have somewhere to work from and meet people. So, but I know and acknowledge how hard work is that.
Thank you.
And if you can share some insights of the difficulties that you had while building the Alt co-working that you could manage to solve.
So, first of all, co-working itself is already not easy, but moreover, we're also a co-living space. So what that means is not only do we provide working desks, we also have bedrooms for people to stay and live. So we're more like a lodging facility plus working spaces that we provide for digital nomads and remote workers. I don't know which one is harder, but I enjoy the community aspect of things because I'm just a super, I love people. I love seeing people interact. And most of the time I want to spend is actually talking with the community members and making sure that they have a good time and they build relationships in the spaces that we provide for them. And that's also the hardest part because it's not something you can automate. And, you can create a very nice space, by throwing a lot of money, by making it Instagrammable. But, the true sense of community, which I think it's the most important aspect that people look for when they go to a co-living space or a co-working space, that has to be more handcraft, right? So there's a lot of dialogues between me and my staff, how they need to communicate, what is that relationship between staff, and we don't call them clients, right? It's community members. What does that mean?
What does it mean, community members?
So in a business model, right? Are they? Yes, they're clients. They're paying clients, but that doesn't mean we have to say yes to every single demand, or that doesn't mean we're the sole responsible people to clean up or to organize things. So this sharing economy concept of, yes, you're paying for the services you're providing, but we also expect you to share the responsibilities to ensure that you're living you're working in a community environment. That's something that not necessarily everyone understands, but it's something that we want to tell them that, yes, we're on this together. And so a lot of times relaying that message or even having our staff to say, no, you can do this yourself. I can assist you, but this is not what we have to serve you. Those are the conversations that takes time to understand.
Are you going to open or work in other locations, or you are purely focusing on Chiang Mai?
So we started off building Alt Chiang Mai as a prototype, as a concept, because we're the first design and built for digital nomads, remote worker kind of a business in a brick and mortar space. The second location we have was actually crowdfunded by the community.
Wow.
And we're very excited for that journey and for that experience. Whether we can go beyond Chiang Mai or beyond Thailand really depends on the support of the community ourselves. So I guess, yes, we want to grow and we want to expand, but it's not up to me to decide how to do it or how fast we can move. That is mainly our approach when we operate the brand, right? We use this community-first approach to do things, to make decisions, and to build, really.
That's amazing. Can I ask you about Japan question? Is it your first time in Japan?
No, this is my favorite country to visit. So I lived here for 2 months many, many years ago. I speak a little bit of Japanese. I've been to Fukuoka maybe 4 or 5 times.
Wow.
So this is different for me, I guess.
Nice.
But to participate in CoLive Fukuoka, this is my second time.
And do you think that Japan right now, first time in the history, opened their doors to us digital nomads to visit this amazing country and eat this amazing food? Do you think Japan has a potential to become one of the most popular destinations for digital nomads, not only just the tourists?
I think Japan is one of those mystical places where everyone wants to visit.
Yes.
But everyone is a little bit intimidated by the uniqueness of it.
Yes.
Right? Especially with nomads, that they want to stay there longer, but they don't know how it's being done, right? So I think CoLive Fukuoka serves as a very nice way to tell the nomads, hey, we recognize you, you're welcomed, right? I think that's the first step. Now, I'm not saying that's good enough because there's also a lot more that needs to be done. Again, nomads are not typical tourists where they just come, they spend, and they leave. They have the intention to understand the culture, to maybe do business engagement, to really understand like what can they be doing when they're here, right? So I think there's more interactions between the nomads or the non-Japanese with the Japanese, and this becomes very important for me at least because I also am a foreigner.
Yeah.
I went to Thailand as a foreigner to conduct business. And if it weren't for my wife to slap me on the head and tell me, no, you're not supposed to do these things here, that's not how you do things, I wouldn't be able to become who I am right now. And I think there's always the need for local counterparts to constantly guide us, to give us advices, to tell us in order for...
Be a wife.
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife.
In order to like have a very smooth integration or a less frictional integration or some sort of interaction, I think both sides need to understand what are the potential challenges or how do you align these value systems so that crossover can be done a little bit easier, Are there anything else that I didn't ask you and you would like to add from yourself? So I'm very passionate about building communities. Co-living spaces is one of my way to kind of understand how I can curate that. I often tell people who want to also build or operate their own co-living spaces that come to Chiang Mai. I'm more than happy to host you. If you want to pick my brains, if you want to ask me how I did my journey, I'm more than happy to share. So this message goes about the same, right? I think in the world of digital nomads, a lot of people also crave this, they have this desire to build their own communities.
Yes, a lot.
Right, and sometimes, I mean, I'm not saying co-living is the only way to do it, but there's a lot of people who thought about this, and so I get a lot of questions and, curiosity about this. So I'm like, yeah, sure, come to Chiang Mai and we can have a talk.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
It was amazing.
Yeah.